Hi everyone, it's the Four Gun Guy, and this is another in my PRS stage series. And this one is called, well, I don't know what it's called because there's different props here all the time. The things that generally stay the same here are this rock and these two tires. And sometimes instead of the tire over there, there's a tank trap. Let's look at how we sometimes shoot this stage. Well, it really depends on what the match director has in store for us. Sometimes it's, choose any two tires here and then shoot 3, 3, and 3, generally at the same target. Or it could go 2, 2, 2, and 4, right? Or again, it could go, I don't know, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's generally 10 rounds on this stage, and it just depends on how he wants us to shoot it. Let's talk about positioning now on each one of these props and what you might want to consider. Well, starting on the rock here is a fairly straightforward position, right? Now, you can do one of two things. I see guys come up here on the point and load like this, and the reason they're doing this is so they can just kind of build that, that tripod of theirs, and then they're not getting up from a kneeling position. So something like this, right? You've got that tripod going on. I tend to shoot it like this. I like this low position because then I can get right down on my knees like I like to be. Right there, and now I'm really stable. I mean, very stable, and it's not that hard to get back up. So those are basically the two ways on the rock that you want to shoot. I've tried to use a tripod on this stage once before for rear support. Just too much to deal with, and I think you can find some stable positions here. Now, let's go ahead and look at those tires, because those can be a different story. All right, well, let's look at these two tires first. Now, the bag I'm using, and I generally shoot this with just one bag, I'm using my Wee Bad Tater Tot, and I've talked about this bag before. I love it. It's a very heavy bag. I mean, this thing's like 12, 15 pounds. It's heavy. But the thing about these tires that you have to be careful of are these treads, because if you come in here and try to build a position, say up here, see how I've got this laid out, which is how I like it laid out, but watch what happens. When I lay my rifle down, my magazine now is impacting the tire. And now you're going to spend seconds just trying to mess around with this thing, right? So make sure you understand where or how to position the bag for the best use, okay? I generally will bring this bag back here like this, make a knuckle out of it, fold it, and now there's two things that I've done. I've really taken the tire out of impacting my magazine here, even though the magazine's lower, right? But I've taken the tire out of the equation, and I can still get down in that position that I like a lot, right? That tripod position, and there we are, right? So there it is. Now, I'm gonna bring the camera around in a minute to kind of show you what I'm doing on this other side, but I wanted to get this out of the way here. Now, when you transition to this tire, you've got a little bit of a different problem depending on what target. Sometimes that target might be straight out here, right? Sometimes it's over here like the one I'm looking at right now. With this tire, generally what I'll do is I'll sit this on its side. You see how I've got it on its side? It makes it much taller, and now I've got a gap here between my magazine and the tire. And now I can still get down on this, and you're going to see when I switch cameras how this helps me stabilize. There, there, and now those are the shots that I've made. Let's switch the camera so you can see what I'm doing on this side. Okay, so remember on this tire, what I said I did was I kind of make a knuckle here, then I come here, right? So I've got my center of balance. Look, I'm not touching the rifle. It's perfectly balanced. Target's out here. Now, when I get down on this, I'll put my hand here. Look at what I'm doing. I'm resting my palm, the back of my palm on the bag, and then I'm lightly grabbing my scope, and this is steady. I'm not overly grabbing this thing, guys. That's the thing. Once you get your rifle balanced like this, you're almost doing free recoil, right? I'm not like holding on to this for dear life. I'm simply making sure that reticle is on that target and steady on the target. Then when I transition over here, remember I said I'm putting this up on its side. I'm coming down. Now watch what this does for me. Now I've got this part of this tire that I can rest my forearm in. This is awesome. And now I'm right here, so comfortable. I'm not squared, I know, but so comfortable. And right on target. So just make sure you're going to use certain things, either the bag or the prop or whatever, to really help stabilize your position. So I just wanted to kind of show you that side of it, so you'll see that, you know, you're just not throwing a bag up there and then fidgeting around. All right, let's move to this last tire. All right, this last tire can make you think, right? And you really don't want to spend the time thinking. I used to try to run this with a tripod or a bipod. So I'd extend my bipod and dig the legs in over there, then I'd have a rear bag. And it worked pretty good. But I tell you what, once you get used to using just a bag, you know, then it really does kind of just become second nature. Couple ways you can do this. You could come right here, drop this down. Now I'm on my tripod position knees. I'm right here. And there you go. And I've only used one bag for the whole prop, right? I've seen other guys come over here to this side, knuckle the bag like I did on that rock. And this way, I won't do the camera like this, but this way, now I've got my elbow on the tire here, and that gives me even steadier, right? An even steadier prop. And I'm still dancing. My reticle's still dancing a little bit, but that's just because of my age. So that's just the way it is. But I like this position a lot because I've got that extra stability with my elbow here on the tire. And over here, my elbow's kind of dangling a little bit. So this is a great position. Well, I tell you what, let's load some up and I'm out here practicing. That's why I'm doing this. So let's load this up and let's practice this, and we'll pick a target out there and shoot it. Okay, got a target. It's 500 yards, and we'll do 2 shots from each position. So let's see what we can do here. We'll say gun. I've got the bag open, coming down into my position. I'm on the target, a little bit of wind. Impact. That was a miss. That was me. I slapped the trigger. I've told you about that before. Let's come over here. I'm on my deal here. On target. I think that wind's picked up a little bit. No, I'm missing. Don't know where I'm missing off of. Let's look. I think, let's hold straight up. Impact, yeah. Impact, yeah, I was giving it too much wind. Right? So let's do this, come to this edge, come down. Now I've got my elbow there that I like. Well, that was a miss. impact. Now, that second to the last, and then that other miss, I was slapping the trigger. And if you look at one of my other videos, I talk about that, the fact that I'm really trying to work on that. I'm not working hard enough, obviously. But look, that's how you can shoot this stage. I didn't do particularly well on it, but that was because of me, I think, and I kind of misjudged that wind a little bit. But I would just say, and what I see a lot of the pros do, is they just come into this with a bag, just like I did here. They clean it, but they just use a bag on it. And I think if you find the right positions, as I showed you, to rest your elbow on, to rest the butt of your palm on your bag, and those types of things to help stabilize your position, I think this is a pretty, I don't want to say easy, but it's a pretty basic stage to shoot. I did want to say again, don't let these things intimidate you when you get to them. If you can practice this in your backyard, you know, these tires could be the top of your barbecue. Just wheel your barbecue out there. And I think I said in another video, just make sure you don't have neighbors that are going to call a SWAT team on you. But you can dry fire, right? You can dry fire. Put a target on the fence 20 yards away if you can. But use a barbecue. Use the back of a chair. Weigh it, you know, maybe you weigh it down with a bag of cement or something. Build your own PRS barricade. I've got a video on that I did, and I've got it up in my game room, so I can just sit up there, put it up in about 1 minute, and shoot off of it and practice this stuff. But again, practice the basic positions. Down like this on your knees, standing, building that tripod, up on one knee with your elbow here. You know, I wouldn't do that here, but in the right height you could. But practice those positions, and then when you get to something like this, you're going to look at it and you're going to go, I'm just going to grab a bag, and that's how I'm going to shoot it. And here's the other big thing, guys, and I haven't said this a lot, but I'm going to start saying it a lot. You've got to commit to how you're going to shoot the stage, okay? Commit to how you're going to shoot it. Now, you may see someone shoot it differently, and there's another video I did on the swinging windows where one of my fellow shooters, Ben, I had my plan all laid out, and then I watched Ben, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna change my approach up a little bit because I like how he shot that. So you may see something that even simplifies it more, and that's what I saw with the way Ben was shooting it. So don't be afraid to change, but at least go in with, this is how I'm gonna shoot this stage, and keep it simple. Keep it simple. Well, hey everyone, I want to thank you again for watching. All the subscriptions, likes, comments, I really appreciate it. And until next time, shoot straight.